if your child only hits you, you really need to focus here. My name's Jodie Thornton, and I want to talk about what is going on for our children when they are lashing out with their person that is their safe space, but they hold it in with everybody else. And so if you think about what most people would say in response to this, it's just that they feel safe enough to really let go into their feelings and not have to push them down. And so then what do we need to do, right? And most people would say we need to help your child to not hit you. But I actually think that that's not, when we take that mindset, we're not getting to the root cause. Because the chances that your child is only dysregulated with you and not with everybody else in their life is almost zero. Now that's based on vibes, not statistically valid. But the idea is that if your child is holding their feelings in with everybody else, that's not good either. Yes, it's better than lashing out physically at other people, but what we want to be able to do both in the times when we're with our safe person, but also with everybody else in our lives, we want to see the feelings coming. We want to be able to express ourselves assertively, and we want to be able to solve the problem in a way that works for everybody involved. And so the issue is not focusing on the hitting. The issue is actually about focusing on your child's emotional awareness, their ability to communicate what's going on for them, and their ability to problem solve. And so I'll give you a couple of strategies for each of these that we can do so that you can build up your child's ability to not just stop hitting you, but actually to be emotionally aware and able to communicate. So the very first thing, if we think about what does it mean to know the feelings are coming, like to be aware of the feelings. So the first thing we want to do is bring in some body awareness to your child. All of our feelings will have some kind of sensation of happening in our body as well. For some people, it's intense and a lot, and for other people, it's subtle. But either way, it's much, much easier for us to notice a difference in the sensations in our body than it is to notice the difference in what's going on in our emotional state. And so that being the case, we want to bring in some body awareness. So we can do this in a couple of ways. The first thing we can do is when your child hits you, if you see it coming before they get to that point of dysregulation, ask them, what do you feel in your body? Or reflect what you can see. So I can see your shoulders are up here. I can see your fists are really tight. I can see your eyebrows are really close together. Anything you can see in changes in their body language, reflect that back to them so that they're tying the feeling I'm having right now is showing up in this way in my body. We also want to talk about how our bodies feel at other times. So when your child is really relaxed and having fun, you could say, oh, sweetie, what does it feel like in your body right now, right? And you can ask, for some kids, like this kind of process of developing their awareness of the sensations in their body. For some kids, it's really easy and they just need an invitation to keep thinking about it. For other kids, it takes time. And so we keep inviting, but it's not a situation where there's any pressure and not a situation where they need to have an answer or the right answer, right? We're just inviting them to notice and to share with us. So that's our first way. And then you can, so that's when they're hitting, and also at other times we want to build up that bodily awareness of what's going on for them. And you can also sprinkle in your own. So don't make it something that you say all day, every day, like giving a narration of what's going on in your body. But if something happens in your child, let's say your child notices you making a mistake, or you're in a rush, or you're feeling great, like anything that's kind of a little bit out of the ordinary, just saying, oh, I just really feel this, like it's like heavy in my tummy right now. And just being honest, right? This is not a situation where we're just like educating them. We're just sharing. And so then they can see that it's interesting to notice what's going on in their bodies. So that's our first thing. Second thing is about communicating what's going on for them assertively. We want to start getting your kids focused on speaking up for what's going on in their feelings. So saying, I don't want to share this toy. I'd like to keep it to myself, right? Now, whether that is what we do or what we don't do is irrelevant. That's a really assertive way to say, I want to keep it for myself, right? It's accurate and it's direct and it is really clear, right? And so what we want to look for is when your child, I would say, if you can catch it before your child gets really dysregulated, really working on what are the ways they can say what they mean. So if your child is grunting or yelling or saying something like "don't do that," like "don't do that," it's not as clear, right? I want to keep my Legos to myself, right? Or I don't want to be cuddled right now. Like being really clear and direct and giving them those words. Again, this is not a pressure situation. It's not a test. We're not trying to educate them on how to speak. What we're doing is giving them an option of this is a way that we can directly and accurately and assertively communicate what you need. So they're tying the words that they're hearing with what they're feeling on the inside. And that really helps them to be able to bring more of their assertive communication skills to any time there's a problem. Now, the second thing we want to do here is that if your child is trying to solve a problem and it's not working, we want to encourage them to come to you for help, right? So it's like you'd like your brother to stop doing that and he's still going, come and get me and I'll help you, right? Now, obviously we don't have all day, every day to be helping, but the more often you can help when you do have the time, the easier we get into a place where life just happens. So it's not like you have to spend all day, every day negotiating for the rest of your life. It's just a support, a skill building support. And then life will be easy in the routine day to day, right? So getting them to come to you if they get stuck and they're not getting to a solution, right? That's really important. And the last thing I mentioned was talking about problem solving. And so the younger your child is, or the more dysregulated your child is in the moment, the more it's up to you to do the leading of the problem solving. But the older your child is, or the more regulated your child is, we want to be asking more questions. Oh, so that's what you want and that's what she wants. What could we do that works for both of you? Right? Asking questions that lead them into thinking about it. And again, this is not a pressure, it's not a test, and we're not trying to like, this is the outcome that I know is going to work and I'm just going to, shepherd you through to getting to the outcome that I want. It's not like that. We're literally opening up because our children are so much younger than us and they have so much more time on their hands than we do. They can come up with creative solutions that we wouldn't have thought of, right? And so what we want to be doing is just opening up those questions so that your child gets into the habit of thinking, well, what could I do that would work? And some of the time you might need to be the one who holds boundaries, either on behalf of one or both of the children, or you might need to be the one that makes a decision. And it's not ideal, but that's the best available option we have. But we really want to be looking at what are the situations where your child is not getting what they need and you're helping them to figure out what's the root cause of what they need, what does the other person want or not want, and how can we find a solution that works for both of us. And so this, by all means, do this in your relationship with your child in those times where they're lashing out with you physically. But as I said, it's not just about stopping the hitting. Like, we don't want your child to be getting in the habit of suppressing their feelings because they don't feel safe enough to allow themselves to be dysregulated and lash out. That's not healthy either. Like, yes, we want to stop the hitting, but we also want to make sure that in all relationships that your child has, that they're able to stay true to their feelings, but also be considerate of what other people need as well. And really getting into that problem-solving approach. Now, if you'd like my help to implement these strategies, I would love to support you over a 1-month package. We can do a session of 45 minutes each week over Zoom, where we can actually look at what are the skills that we need to focus on for your child. Where might you need some help with with holding boundaries while we're in the process of building up everybody's skills, and also what are the things that make it easy for you to do in your normal routine. So it's not something that only works when life is easy and we're all well and everything's fine. We want to make sure that this is actually just the default way of how you and your children function in your relationships with everybody, right? We really want to look at what makes it easy and practical for you to be able to be continually supporting your child to build these skills up, so that not only do they stop hitting you, but also they're really able to be emotionally open and connected with all of the people that they have relationships with. At the time of recording this, that 1 month package is $597. And the reason I say a week apart is because when we start to change how you're responding to your children's behavior, they will start to change as well, right? And so we need to, in those first few weeks, we really need to make sure that we're tweaking based on how your child is responding to your new ways of supporting them with their emotions. So in the course of that 1 month, I would expect that for the bulk of kids, they'll either completely stop hitting you or the hitting will happen really infrequently. In the trickiest of situations, they might still be hitting, but you'll see a marked reduction. You will see a measurable change in how often they're hitting, even in the trickiest of situations. So if that's something that you'd like to do, please reach out to me and send me an email and let's get you booked in. The best way to contact me is at jodythornton.com/contact, and we can get you booked in and really get this shift happening. So yes, we stop the hitting, but also we help your child to actually be able to stay regulated in their emotions all of the time, not just with you. I hope this has been really helpful, and if you have any questions, please reach out.